Muhammad claims to be a prophet around 40 years old. For the first 13 years, he's preaching a message of monotheism. He's preaching a message of taking care of widows and orphans. When he ultimately fled to Medina, that is when he was able to start fighting. That is when he had an army at his control. And it was that very year that he started launching raids. And from that point till his death, we see a crescendo, an escalation of violence in his life. The Quran is not in chronological order. The last chapter chronologically to have been composed is Surah 9. It is, bar none, the most violent. And it's basically disavowing all treaties with polytheists and also with Jews and Christians. And it tells Muslims to fight the unbelievers, to slay the infidels wherever you find them. That's chapter 9, verse 5. Chapter 9, verse 29 says specifically, Jews and Christians, fight them until they are subjugated and pay you money. Why? A few verses later, because Islam has been made to prevail over every other religion. Chapter 9, verse 33. Chapter 9, verse 111 is the one that says, if you die in jihad, you will go to heaven. So it launches Muslims right before Muhammad dies into this undelimited warfare. The words Islam is a religion of peace is found nowhere in the Quran. It's found nowhere in the Hadith. This is a modern phrase. If we mean that there are peaceful Muslims, no one can argue with that. I would say the vast majority of Muslims in the world are peaceful. But if we say Islam is a religion of peace, that's problematic because, again, Muslims are not Islam. Islam is the system. Muhammad had been fighting from the first year that he could until he died, and he launched Muslims into battle such that they conquered 1/3 of the known world. We were told growing up that Muhammad only fought defensive battles. The fact is, though, when you get past the modern narratives and you start reading the text of the Quran directly, there's no question that's not the case. He launched raids. Even the first battle that the Muslims fought, the Battle of Badr, was a result of a raid that he launched. You cannot argue that Islam conquered 1/3 of the known world defensively. That doesn't make any sense. People can go to the internet and they can read what the Quran says for themselves. They can go to the Hadith and read the Hadith for themselves. They're seeing the tremendous violence that are found in Muhammad's life and in the Quran. And that is causing them to do one of three things. It's causing them to either become nominal. It's causing them to become apostates like me. I saw the violence and I said, this is not the true religion. Or it's causing them to become radicalized. For me, it was the sheer fact that he claimed to be God. In the Islamic faith, that's strictly denied. Chapter 5 of the Quran, verse 72 says, if you believe Jesus is God, you will go to hell. I started studying Jesus' life, and I started seeing what he did. There's no question there's a stark contrast between Jesus and Muhammad. Jesus never carries a sword. Not even once in the scriptures he carries a sword. Anytime his disciples try to use it on people, he says, put away your sword. He who lives by the sword dies by the sword. The reality of it for me was that Jesus claimed to be the I am, that God became man. How much God loves us, that he is our father. Islam denies that God is our father. And so it was through this that I began to realize Jesus claimed to be God. He proved it by rising from the dead. I have to be a Christian.